Welcome to this session on critical thinking. Over the past weeks, we have explored how to question assumptions and evaluate evidence. Today, we are going to introduce a powerful tool that makes critical thinking precise and almost mathematical: propositional logic. By the end of this video, you will be able to translate everyday sentences into logical forms and test whether arguments actually hold up before you accept or reject a conclusion. Let's get started. Before we dive into logic, let us quickly remind ourselves what critical thinking means. It is thinking clearly, rationally, and, most importantly, understanding the logical connections between ideas. For example, if you see an ad that says 9 out of 10 dentists recommend a toothpaste, a critical thinker does not just buy the toothpaste. Instead, you ask, who paid for the study? How many dentists were actually asked? Propositional logic gives us a structured way to break down statements and see the hidden connections. It turns vague thinking into something we can analyze step by step. What is propositional logic? At the heart of propositional logic is a simple idea. A proposition is a sentence that is either true or false, but not both. For example, the sky is blue is a proposition. The moon is made of cheese is also a proposition. It is just false. We use letters like P, Q, and R to stand for these statements. So instead of writing a long sentence every time, we write P or Q. This makes logical analysis faster and much clearer, as you will see. So, more formally, propositional logic is a branch of logic that deals with propositions and the logical relationships between them. Think of it as the grammar of truth. Just as grammar gives you rules to combine words into meaningful sentences, propositional logic gives you rules to combine simple statements into complex ones, and then determine whether the overall statement is true or false. Let me give you a concrete example. Let P equal, it is raining outside. Let Q equal, the ground is wet. Now, instead of saying the long sentence, if it is raining outside, then the ground is wet, we can write simply P arrow Q, that is it. This shorthand allows us to focus on the logical structure, not the words. It is like using X and Y in algebra instead of writing out the number of apples every single time. How do we connect propositions? We connect propositions using special tools called logical operators or connectives. There are 5 basic ones. We will go through each one slowly because these are the building blocks of everything that follows. The 5 are negation, conjunction, disjunction, implication, and biconditional. Negation. The first operator is negation. It simply means not, or it is false that. The symbol is a little dash that looks like this. Negation flips the truth value. If a statement is true, its negation is false. If it is false, its negation is true. For example, let P be, it is raining. If that is true, then P, it is not raining, is false. Here is a thinking exercise. A witness says, the car was red. Another witness says, the car was not red. If the first witness is lying, then the car was red is false, which means the second witness is telling the truth. That is negation in action. Conjunction. The second operator is conjunction. It means and. The symbol looks like an A without the crossbar. A conjunction is true only if both parts are true. If even one part is false, the whole statement is false. For example, let P be, I have a degree, and Q be, I have 5 years of experience. PQ means, I have a degree and I have 5 years of experience. This is only true if you have both. If you have a degree but no experience, the whole statement is false. Disjunction. Third is disjunction, which means or. The symbol is like a V shape. A disjunction is true if at least one part is true. It is false only if both parts are false. For example, I pay with cash or I pay with a card is true if I use cash, true if I use a card, and true if I use both. It is only false if I use neither. This is what logicians call an inclusive OR. Implication. Fourth is implication. This is the if, then statement. The symbol is an arrow. PQ means, if P happens, then Q must happen. This is false in only one situation, when P is true and Q is false. Think of it as a promise. If I say, if you study, then you will pass, and you do study but you fail, then my promise is broken, and the statement is false. In every other case, if you do not study and pass, or do not study and fail, the statement is considered true, because no promise was broken. Biconditional. Fifth and finally is the biconditional. It means if and only if. The symbol is a double-headed arrow. PQ means P and Q rise and fall together. The statement is true when both are true or both are false. For example, the light is on if and only if the switch is up. If the switch is up and the light is on, that is true. If the switch is down and the light is off, that is also true. But if the switch is up and the light is off, the biconditional is false. Example. Student rules. Let us bring these together with the student example. Let P be, I attend all classes. Q be, I submit all assignments. R be, I will pass the course. Using propositional logic, we can write a rule, PQ, R that reads, if I attend all classes and I submit all assignments, then I will pass the course. Now suppose you attend all classes, so P is true. But you miss one assignment, so Q is false. Then PQ is false. The rule does not force you to pass or fail. You might still pass if the teacher is lenient. But the logic helps you see that the guarantee of passing depends on both conditions being true.